Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So last week I actually ran this Notion Malaysia gathering in 2025. So what we did there is I showcased this templates where with a click of a button, you can kind of choose what kind of task you want based on your availability. So for today's, I'm going to showcase how you can build this template from scratch. So let's jump to Notion. So in Notion, so this is what I call daily quest. So it depends on your schedule. So let's say you have, I call it like an easy, normal, and hard. So the idea is that maybe you have 2 hours a day, 4 hours, and 6 hours. So based on that, you kind of click the button and it helps you to generate a task. So the task is actually based on this listing at the bottom here. So it's something I call just like a quest list, just to make it a bit more gamified. You can see 2 hours easy. These are the two tasks that we're doing. So I can delete this. So 1, 2, and then so these are the 2 hours, and then normal they have is 4 hours. So add it up for 4 hours, and then hard. So these are the tasks that we've done. So with a click of a button, so let me just kind of click all this, just kind of disappear. And I'm going to say, let's say today I have 4 hours. So I'm going to click normal. So what will happen is that it actually generates the task for me in this quest database here. So basically this is just our to-do list. So you can see it's generated. So we can see all the tasks only for 2 hours and 4 hours. So depending on which button we press, it will help us to generate. So in order to kind of follow along this tutorial, so you need to have Notion Plus or the premium plan. So because we'll be using an automation to go through this process. So as you go along this, you'll be learning how to create two databases that, so we won't be linking it today. So we kind of use automation to kind of link them. So first of all, just create a new page. So I'll have them side by side so that we kind of follow along what are the progress that we have. So essentially there are two databases that we need. So one is called Quest database and then one is called Quest list. So the idea is that the Quest database is just your checklist. So you can kind of see the properties here. We're going to table, right? So what you see is that you have the name, you have the dates, you have the checkbox. So I'll try to simplify this. We don't need like a completed hours. So in this case, we just need the name, assigned date, and checkbox. So I'm going to do this Quest database first. So I'm just do database. So you can do like /database here. And then you select inline database. So once you selected this, you can just name this a Quest. And then so we have the name here. We want to have a date property, so select date, assign date, and then also we have a checkbox. That's it. So as simple as this. Next, we want to have the quest list. So we're going to go down here. So you have the quest list on this side. What we have is just create a database. We're going to call this a quest list. And then we have a bunch of task quests, right? So how we can differentiate it, we need to create a select property. So select. So the idea is that we have easy, normal, and hard. So I'm just gonna type easy 2 hours. Oh no, this is the, I'm gonna call it type maybe. So we then easy 2 hours, and then we have normal 4 hours, and then we have hard 6 hours. So essentially, depending on what you choose, then you kind of select it, right? And then next we're gonna do is create this thing called duplicate properties. So I'm gonna go this again. This is a checkbox basically. I'll kind of explain why we need it later. But for now, just create a checkbox. Just call it duplicates. And next thing is just create a group. So not create, I guess just select group and then select type. So what happens is that it helps you to separate all of them into their respective areas. So now we have hide empty group. So we don't want this to happen. We only want to hide the null type. So the idea is that we can kind of replicate what we already have here. So we're going to do client project. I'm going to hide this type here. So in our use case here, we're not going to use these hours. So just to kind of keep things more streamlined, easy. Then we have write newsletter. And then we can have prepare workshop. And then the hard one, maybe have create Notion template. So these are some of the daily tasks that I do as a Notion consultant. So just kind of show you examples on this on Reddit. All right. So now that we have our quest list, so next thing is that we want it as we press the button. So we kind of generate the quest here into this quest list here, right? So how can we do that? So the premise is very simple. Even before we use the button, what you want to do is actually want to use automations. So you want to use that as we trigger it. So the idea is that as we trigger, we click this checkbox here, duplicate. What we want to happen is that every time we click this, we want to replicate whatever is here into this quest list here. So let's say, for example, I click client project. I'm just going to type manually here. So client project. It should manually come up here as well. So this is the one that we want, and then maybe just include the assigned date as well. so that we can use this as a checklist. So how can we do this is we can just use the automation button here, the feature. So you have this automation, select it, new trigger. So I'm gonna just type this as duplicate trigger. So I just name it. So and then when new trigger is, so every time a page edit, no. So what we want is select the properties, duplicates, and then check. So every time duplicate is set to check, so this is where our automation will start. So similarly, you can use different types of trigger, but for this case, this duplicate is checked. So what we want to do is that every time it's being checked, we want to create a new quest inside this quest database here. So new action, we're gonna add page 2, select database. So if you're following along, so you know that we're gonna add to this quest database here. So I'm not sure this is the right, I think this is the one I'm select, quest. And then what's the name? So the name is, we can use the formula, edit as formula. So trigger page. So the idea is that where are you triggering this page from? So we're clicking the page from this checkbox, right? So this is the trigger page. And then you can actually just save it and it's fine. But in this case, we don't need to include this thing called format. Just to kind of remove any formatting it has from the text itself. And next thing is just going to do assign date and then date triggered. So whenever we trigger a date, you automatically assign that date for it. And then just click enable. So now I'm going to show you an example now. So if we're just going to click this, you automatically create this client project for me. So I'm going to wait for a bit. It should come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless we screw something up. Or am I creating a different database? No. Okay, let me just rename this quest demo. Sometimes you have too many similar one. Okay, we have it. It's duplicate set is check. It should be correct though. Let me just try another one. Write newsletter. So it should create a new one here. Okay, so you can see we have the right newsletter here. So, but another thing you notice is that it doesn't kind of turn back to normal. So we kind of have to manually check this. So what you can do is just go back to automation and then add one more step at the bottom here, add action, edit property, duplicate, and then just make sure that we uncheck it. So the idea is that every time we check it, it will just uncheck for us. So let me just delete this and then I'm gonna click this, duplicate. So now you can see that it will automatically uncheck itself if it's working correctly. Okay, you see it's being unchecked, and then there's a client project. So now you probably kind of see how it works now. So the last step they want to do is just add a button. So we're gonna do here, just gonna enter at the top here. So include a button, so slash button, select button here. So we're gonna do easy. So easy is 2 hours, gonna just write it here. So what we want to do is basically just select edit the duplicates in this case. So we want to edit the duplicates for easy. So in this case, a new action, edit pages, select database, select quest list. So we don't want to be all pages. So what we want is filter. Oh no, we don't need a group. I'm gonna remove this one. So basically what a filter is the type. So filter the easy options and then edit the property, duplicates equals to check. So instead of us manually going in to take everything, right? So you can just use this button. So I'm gonna press this button now. You can see what happens is that it actually tick for us and then automatically it will create a new project for us as well. So we're gonna wait for a bit. You can see this second project being created. So the same thing now, I probably get the gist now. So I'm gonna just duplicate this and I'm gonna go to the right side here and I'm gonna type this as normal, 4 hours, and then we're gonna select filter. So instead of just 2 hours, we're gonna add both here. And then we're gonna click done. And then the last one we just do is for heart. So duplicate here. We're gonna drag it at the side as well. So rename this. So I'm gonna rename this as heart, 6 hours. And then essentially I think we can just remove all of the type. So, but just to be safe, we just use 2, 4, 6, then done. So essentially it depends on what button you click, it will kind of generate it for you. So I'm just gonna do just one more try. So type, press on the 6, you can see automatically it's being checked, and then you trigger the automations, and then you create this task for us. So why are we going through this so many hoops to kind of create this elaborate setup, right? So as you might know that there's actually this recurring feature in Notion as well, like scheduling. So but oftentimes how we can kind of create scheduling tasks that you need to create like a templates for it. So template is not, at least for me personally, not the best way to kind of handle. It's not visually like very easy to set up. So for me, I prefer to have just a list to kind of help me to sort out the daily tasks. These are the non-negotiable tasks that I need to do on a daily basis for my work. So based on this, you can easily add on. So I have one is like talk to manager, for example, and then once you press the button, it automatically adds for you. So you don't have to kind of go through many different loops to kind of do it. So this is more like it makes more sense for people to kind of use it. Of course, the setup can be a bit more complicated on upfront, but personally, I feel like this is just easier. And last thing is just for more aesthetic side of things. You can just select this and then change the color. So you can put orange, just make them all orange. Or you can have a different color, I guess. Initially have a different color, maybe red, and then maybe this is green. Yeah, that's it. So I'm trying to keep this video a bit shorter, so I won't be going through the dashboard for these use cases. But yeah, that's the video. I hope you like it. Let me know what other videos, what other things that you would like to know more, and then I'll make a video next. Thank you very much.